Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I am talking about all of the things that I wish I knew before I went on my first Disney cruise. So just kind of like little tidbits of information that I wasn't sure about and things that are definitely helpful to know. So without further ado, let's get started. I will start by saying that I did a lot of research before we went because I'm the type of person that I want to know everything. So that's also why I'm putting this video out there, because if you're like me, you'll want to know some of these things. I feel like some of them you can probably find information elsewhere, but I'm just sharing from what was helpful to know now from my point of view. So if I'm looking this way, I'm looking at my laptop and at my phone. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is that you don't really need to bring any cash unless you're planning on tipping with cash. So we are in Canada, so we got out some US money before we went, and when we were in the Walt Disney World portion of our trip, we found ourselves not using cash because we weren't sure what we were going to need on the cruise. Once you're on the cruise, your Key to the World card is basically the only thing you need. The only difference is, I guess, if you're going to excursions, you would need cash, or like if you're getting off the boat. But like on Castaway Cay, like you just use your card. On the boat, you just use your card and then it goes to your bill. The only thing you would need cash for is if you're putting cash in the envelopes for everybody at the end of your cruise, or if you want to pay off your stateroom balance in cash, or if you need to make change from the cash for the tips. And you need to do that at guest services. So that was one thing that we weren't really sure about, and we didn't really know until after, and it was fine. So we just ended up coming home with more cash, I guess, than we thought, but that's fine. So then another thing is if you have gift cards, you can apply gift cards to your stateroom balance. You can't really use them in the stores. But I would probably suggest doing that, depending on the length of your cruise, like at the beginning or probably like partway through the cruise. We had some gift cards and we didn't apply that until the end. And by the end, my next point is they'll charge the credit card that's on file if your balance goes over $300. So by the time we got to use the gift cards, they had already charged our cards, so then we had a balance on our account, and they said basically if you don't spend all this money, then it will just go back onto your card. So I guess it was kind of like we could have just kept the gift cards, but that was one thing that I didn't really know. I knew that you had to go to guest services to apply the gift cards, but I didn't know about the charging your card ahead of time. So we got kind of like a statement the last night, and then we got another one the morning we disembarked that was updated with a balance and everything like that. So that was something that I didn't know. Next, Castaway Cay Excursions get canceled. So I will also just state that we did not have great weather for our cruise, which was a bummer, and especially at Castaway Cay, so our day in Nassau, it was raining for a lot of it, and then in Castaway Cay, it was kind of sunny in the morning, and then it was cloudy and windy. All of the excursions were canceled, and Serenity Bay, the adults-only beach, was closed due to weather. We had previously bought a snorkeling excursion, but because of the weather, we decided not to do it. We didn't ask for a refund. I don't know if we would have qualified because we didn't do it or because of the weather, but we did see people snorkeling, so we didn't think that was one of the things that was canceled. So my suggestion would be, if you think that that's something you want to do, I would probably wait until you're actually there, because I don't think that they'd like sell out of snorkel gear. But next time, or if I were to do it again, do it over, I would probably wait until we were there to rent it. so that we aren't paying for something that we didn't use. Again, I don't know if we had put up a stink, if we could have gotten our money back, or if they would have just given us our money back, but that's our mistake. That was the decision that we made. So just something to know that I didn't know about. Another thing is to use the app. I didn't use the app because part of the cruise for me was unplugging. So I turned my phone off and I completely unplugged, which was really nice. And yes, I could probably do that on a regular basis here, but that was the first time that I've had my phone off for 3 days, and probably the time that I've had a phone, like an iPhone at least. So like it's been a while, but walking around, that means that you have to either ask for a paper navigator, get a paper navigator from guest services every day, and yeah, you just can't like check times on your phone. We were always together. It was just me and my husband, so we were always together, that it wasn't like a communication device, which it can be, but we didn't use that to its full extent because I have my phone off, which I'm pretty much fine with that, but that could also be something to know that you might find helpful. Next is the stores. I knew that the stores weren't open all the time, but I didn't know what those times would be. So it's basically only when you're on like open international water that the stores could be open. So we were on a 3-night cruise. That essentially meant evenings because we were docked during the day and the stores weren't open at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So around like 5 or 6 they opened, maybe 5:30, because we were kind of like outside the theater waiting to get into the show when the stores opened. So I guess just if you're planning on shopping, know that like that would be the time frame for you to get your shopping done. Next, be prepared to take the stairs. There are only so many elevators, and there are lots of kids and strollers and everything like that. So be prepared to take the stairs. We took the stairs pretty much all the time. Like we only went in the elevator a handful of times, and sometimes that was going from like the 5th deck, like up to 11 to like 13. So like there are a lot of stairs. But also, if you're indulging and eating all you can eat, which is what a cruise is, it's probably a good idea to take the stairs. Especially the ones like from the main lobby. It's in the center, so a lot of people are going to use it. When you're getting off or on, like there's just lots of people. Less people take the stairs, so be prepared to take the stairs. There are different sections to Cabanas. So Cabanas is the like self-serve buffet, not sit-down restaurant option. So it's open for all 3 meals, but there are different sections which we didn't really explore. So like there's like a carving station, which we are vegetarian, so we're not going to partake in that. But there was like sushi, and like I don't ever really think went all the way around when we were getting our meals there. So just like make sure to take a whole gander. Like even dessert for some of the meals, like we didn't even really see. And it wasn't until like the last morning, which we only had 2 mornings on the ship because the 3rd morning you eat at a restaurant so you can get off. But just make sure to explore all of it so you can see what all of your options are. The doors for the shows open 30 minutes before the show time, and they suggest that you don't save seats. It was kind of really funny because we sat in the exact same spot all 3 nights, and the row in front of us was all the same people for all 3 nights. So people are creatures of habits, and know that like potentially the first seat that you pick like could be the one that you're gonna go to again and again. We were on the left side. We went all the way down and were the beside like the sound booth. We were the 2nd row up, but like right up against it, which I was like looking over, which was interesting to me, but it was pretty much center and they were really good seats. But people will be waiting, and if you are worried about getting a seat, know that you should be there probably 30 minutes before. There are people coming around that can get you popcorn and drinks, which is extra, to your seats if you're worried about that. But yeah, I didn't know that the doors opened that early, and we were there every night, like when the doors opened. And Beauty and the Beast, so we were on the Disney Dream, which has Beauty and the Beast. That show was full. The other two, not so much, but especially if like there's a show that you really want to see, make sure you're there. Okay, next thing. We had Pirate Night. So the fireworks launch from the starboard or right side of the ship out into the ocean. So if you want to have a really good view, be on that side of the ship. We went to like the upper deck, deck 11, so we could see the show but also see the fireworks. But there were people like right on the railing, so they must have known like where it comes from. They did make an announcement, but they had a really good view of the fireworks. So if that's something that you want to see, like, they're fireworks, but if you want to be like right where it is, that's where to go. One thing that was kind of surprising for me is when your booking window opens for excursions and special dining and everything like that, first time cruisers, your window opens last. So it makes sense from the standpoint of the more times you've cruised, the like higher up you are, that your window opens earlier. But as a first time cruiser, I was not happy. We didn't really, like, we booked snorkeling and that was it, and we didn't even end up doing that. But the Palo brunch was one thing that I wanted to do, and it was booked before, like, I was there the minute the window opened and it was full. And so I was like, that's not really fair that this is my first time and I don't even get a chance at it. And I did ask when we got on the ship, and it was still full and there was a wait list, and I never heard. So, but it was also a shorter cruise, so there was really only one option, which if everybody's trying to go for the same day, like, kind of get it, but at the same time, sucks. So just know that, and especially if it's your first time cruising, like, you might not be able to do everything that you want to do that's extra. Okay, next, and another small rant, the Disney Vacation Club discount is available in the stores, but only for purchases $50 and over. So I think I used it once. One time I didn't ask, one time I did use it, and then another time the items that I was getting together didn't meet that. Also, you can shop in all of the stores, so you can take stuff from store to store, which we didn't really know about. So you can pile all your purchases together and make it in at one time. So as a DVC member, I would suggest doing that so that you can take advantage of the discount, because there were purchases that didn't qualify for me. But I also think that's stupid for Disney Vacation Club members who spend a heck of a lot of money to buy into Disney Vacation Club, that you have to meet a threshold to spend money. Also, the Castaway Club members, which is the club when you go on more than one Disney cruise, their discount is higher, and I don't believe there's a minimum purchase. So I get it, again, from the standpoint that, like, the people who come back again and again are your, like, special people, but Disney Vacation Club members are special too. So that's my rant about that, and something that I didn't know and definitely wanted to share. Next, I kind of already mentioned this, but the popcorn buckets and popcorn and stuff is extra. So you do have to pay for it, but I'm like 90% sure that it's just like in the parks with the popcorn buckets, that the refills are cheaper. So if you're going on like a 7-night cruise and you get the popcorn bucket the first night, that would probably be a good idea. Instead of just getting the small one. Not to tell you to buy a popcorn bucket or anything extra, but like, Sven's over here, so I shouldn't speak. Another thing is a lot of people bring their own cups. So on deck 5, where the funnel vision is, and there are like soda stations, or no, that's deck 11. Deck 11, there are soda and water stations, but only like kind of small cups. So they ask for you not to use your own cups for sanitary reasons. I would suggest if you are going to bring your own cup to bring like some dishwasher solution so that you can rinse them out and clean them and disinfect them in your room. But a lot of people brought their own cups to refill with water or whatever. I will say that I did kind of wish that I had, especially just for at night, because you're not going to use the water from the sink to fill your water bottle, and I like having water for the night, so I kind of wish that I had, even just if it was just to fill a water bottle. But that was something that, again, like I kind of knew about, but then didn't really realize how much I would want it until I was thirsty in the middle of the night. Next is about the Castaway Cay 5K. So if you want to have your bib ahead of time, which isn't like chip timed or anything, it's just a bib, make sure to go to a session, which is generally the day before you go to Castaway Cay. So for us, that was the day we were in Nassau. There were different sessions throughout the day about the 5K where you sign up and then you get your bib. I don't know if you sign the waiver. I'm pretty sure you still have to sign a waiver once you're on the island, so it's really not that much faster. But again, me being the person who wants to know everything, I didn't like that morning going, I don't know where I go. I'm just following the line of people that are in exercise clothing that look like they're probably doing the 5K. I did sign up ahead of time through, like, not the app, but through my account, but it wasn't that, like, they were checking off a list or anything. Like, it was just like, here's a bib, sign this, okay, here's your medal, and you finish it. I would say do it if you can. Like, people are walking it, people are running it, people are doing it again after you've done it because they want to run further. I'm glad I did it, and it was the nicest weather we had on like pretty much the whole cruise, so just something to know. And also, it's not even really 5K because they walk you out to a point where you start. It's like 4.5. I have my running watch, so I started it when we started and stopped when we stopped, and it was only like 5.5K, 4.5K. So I guess start your watch before, when you go through the thing that says 5K start, or just know that it's gonna be a little bit shorter than that. But anyway, I was glad we did it, and I'm happy we have the souvenir of the medal. But yeah. So I think that is everything. If there's any other things that I think of, I'll have those in the blog post, which I'll link down below, which will have all of this information plus anything else that I think of. But I think that's about it. It's just a lot of little things. If you're worried about like the disembarkation process, or just like how the shows or anything works, don't be afraid to ask anybody. I would say join some Facebook groups before you go. You can even join like cruise specific ones, so your dates. But you can also ask like any of the cast members, go to guest services, but they also do a really good job of explaining everything. There are channels on the TV that walk you through packing up and everything like that. But it was really smooth, and it's hard because like the cruise itself we really enjoyed. It was just like, if you're not feeling well, that does not make a fun vacation. So but I did a lot of research, so we kind of knew what to expect going in. There were some things that I was like, I think this is how it works, and I was mostly right. But your dining rotation and everything like that, they'll walk you through like what's on your card that means what. And they're very efficient, and they know what they're doing, and I think that you'll pretty much be good. So let me know if you have anything that you would add to this list, and if you have any questions about cruising. Again, I've only been on one Disney cruise, but I feel like I learned a lot. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.